right, so we're back live. We apologize.
Good job, Jason.
Yes, we apologize for the problem that befell our previous broadcast, but we're back now running again. And hopefully, if my color commentator could copy and paste the, if you go to the YouTube page and find the address of this, because it's not the same as the other broadcast, and post it on the forum, then hopefully people can pick it up and join us.
I'd love to do that, but I can't seem to open the forum. And that seems to have a breakdown as well.
My goodness. It's just all go
Not a
today,
good night.
isn't it? Well, let's bring everybody up to speed on what's going on here. Mick Chapman is currently in the lead. Brian Janik is second. Richard Coxon is third. Alberto Aquino is fourth. Tiago Canola is fifth. David Yunt is sixth. David Saber is seventh. Richard Wilkes is eighth.
Jacob Frederickson, ninth. Then we have Jason Fitch.
is in 10th. And all of those drivers are on the lead lap. In fact, people are on the lead lap cleared down to, I believe, 21st position. But I don't know. Joining the server again could potentially give me false readings with that. But in any case, we're watching the leader right now, Mick Chapman, who's driving Danny Sullivan's car. And this is a car that was definitely capable of winning in 1988, but he crashed. Danny Sullivan did about midway through the race. The car just pushed out into the wall.
He was dominating the race up to that point.
Yeah, he
so
was.
The front wing adjuster broke.
So that would probably account for why he was pushing. Now Mick is coming up to lap my teammate, Filippo Marazzi, who gives him plenty of room. So the Penske's obviously are the class of the field as far as speed goes, but the interesting thing has been... Oh, and we have a development here. I believe this is Brian Janik coming into the pits. This is probably a scheduled pit stop for him, I would think. What would you say, Juha?
Yes, I agree with that. That looks like a scheduled stop, especially as it's been...
Oh, he brushes the wall as he comes to a stop. Car goes up in the air, taking on tires and fuel, most likely.
Let's hope that brush didn't cause any damage.
I wouldn't think it did. These cars can take a little bit of a hit without too much trouble. He's dropping down to 11th here. Now he comes out. Now you see the problem there with the Buick. He's trying not to damage the valve train. Coming back up to speed now.
It takes ages to get up to speed in the Buick.
Well, it's more right away. But then, of course, you saw what I was dealing with on the restarts. It's a problem. And
yeah, that might be a gearing thing, depending on your setup.
I'm going to have to talk to Brian after the race, because clearly he knows something that I do not.
Also, Mick Chapman just pitted. He's leaving the pit lane now, dropping back to 8th.
Chapman is now leaving the pits. Yes, he's in 9th place now, about to go down to 10th. So he gets passed by, although that might not be a pass for position. No, he's still 9th. That was not a pass for position with Bruno Chacon. So, yeah, we have a bunch of people coming into the pits now. Richard Wilkes, Alan Forrester, and the Jim Crawford entry. So there's going to be a bunch of people cycling to the front.
Meanwhile, Richard Coxon just keeps turning around in his low fuel consumption Judd engine Lola.
He's coming up now on Alberto Aquino, who is the leader at this point. And Alberto heads for the pits. So Richard Coxon's going to inherit the lead. Let's have a look at. That's interesting. There's Alberto. Okay, he's coming into his pits. Let's see what a Penske pit stop looks like. And he also brushes the wall slightly. Car goes up in the air. Oh, he missed his pit stall. Oh, no. That's going to cost him dearly. He turns off his engine, too. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's got damage that he has to repair, but this is going to be a very costly pit stop for little Al. Also, right behind them, we have
No, he's already gone. He's already
Okay, well, he's gone,
The
but
Lala's going moving in.
But still, that was incredibly costly. That's time that you just don't get back on the track. He's dropped to 10th place, and he's no doubt going to lose a few more positions coming up to speed. Janik overtakes him. He's dropped to 11th. Oh my goodness, almost a collision in the pits here between David Yunt and I believe that's
Jason Whited, who has to
Jason
reverse to get out of
Whited.
his stall.
My goodness. So he reverses to get out, and then David Yunt, hopefully he didn't incur any damage there. So it's really busy in the pits. Alberto Ibanez is in the pits too, so is Tiago Canola. In comes Jason Fitch, and he has to... Oh, that's going to be difficult for... That's going to be difficult for David Yunt because he's going to have to reverse to get out of there because you see the way the car is positioned. David Yunt's pit stop is like, yeah, see, well, he was able to do it without reversing, so he comes out of the pits. And Fitch is going to emerge in 12th as well.
Coxon hits the wall. Coxon has hit the wall.
Oh, no! Oh, my goodness! Richard Coxon has impacted the wall! Oh, that's terrible!
And he's lost the wheel. He's out.
Oh, no, he goes back into traffic! No! Oh, my goodness.
He just manages to put it back, and he's on the way to the pits.
Well,
no, why does he? Why? Oh.
He's taking the
chance.
Why
is he continuing? Yeah.
Well, first of all,
pit in yellow. Pits are closed.
The pits are closed. He can't come in, and he's taking the chance that that suspension can be repaired and a wing can be put on. But any chance of a second Indianapolis victory for Richard has fallen by the wayside. This is terrible. Let's take a look at a replay of what happened here. That's terrible for Richard. And he had... let's see. So we're running back here. It looks like he was on his own. So the ping is giving us issues here, but he goes out. Oh, he lost the back end, struck the wall with the car. The question is, had he just pitted or was he on his way in?
He had just pitted. He was he just left the pit lane.
This is the exact thing that befell me is, you know, when you come out of the pits, you have to remember that the car is full of fuel and it's going to be handling differently. And your mind goes in the area of, I've got to catch up to the others. I got to catch up. And it's so easy to push too hard. And I'm guessing that's what Richard did. That's really unfortunate. Now, the other thing that this is going to do that's interesting is that there's a bunch of people that have already pitted. So it kind of, those who didn't pit up to this yellow are actually going to have a bit of an advantage. Everybody who pitted prior to this is going to be a bit of a disadvantage because they pitted on the green and lost more time. So whoever pits now, once the pits are open, is going to, I mean, this is going to be a huge advantage for those people. I can't imagine what Richard's feeling right now. Well, I probably can.
David Saber's now pitting, the leader.
All right, so we'll see what happens here if Coxon's able to get his car repaired. He's doing a pretty fine job just driving the car back to the pits with no wings and 3 wheels. Here he comes into the pit lane now.
It's looking distinctly like a Delta wing at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here if he's able to...
but if he, it will be a very long stop because it takes
no
half
doubt.
a minute. Half a minute to repair the aero, and 10 minutes. It could have taken just 10 minutes to repair the suspension.
Oh, he missed his pit stall. What's he doing? That's interesting. Oh, there's the wheel. Okay, so as much as that looks strange, that suspension will be technically repaired.
User joined your channel.
So now he's, to your point, Juha, now he has a very, very long pit stop to fix that car. But
exactly.
Here we are coming back to green.
And this gets out people like Bruno Chacon who are pitting now.
Oh goodness, that's really unfortunate. Because if you're pitting now, that's a total wrong time. Wilkes is in the lead, I believe.
Also, Alan Forster pitted again, and so did Francois Raymond.
Richard Wilkes is in the lead. And appropriately, I mean, he's the guy who did the physics for this mod.
And also he's been running.
I believe we just heard Jonathan. Oh my goodness.
Halfway mark.
Jonathan's still having internet issues, unfortunately. Jason Fitch is running in 8th place, a lap, well actually 8th, 9th, and 10th, but it appears... Oh wait, I'm looking at Wilkes. What is wrong with me? I'm not even looking at the leader. I apologize. Janik is 2nd, and the leader at this point is... We're back to Mick Chapman again. Mick has to go on the grass. Oh my goodness, this is very dangerous. Now he ends up right up getting next to Kowalski. Mick is finally by. Mid-pack racing with these cars is really, really crazy. Mick now is coming up to lap 2 more cars. He's got Ray Riddall and 3 wide going into the turn. Ray hangs on in front. Ray's in 12th. I'm not sure whether he missed Mick being there or not. Mick pulls out. He's going to try to overtake now. Comes on the inside. Takes the position. Well, not a position, but he gets in front in the serial. The next car back from him is Brian Janik in 2nd place. And you can see the distance there. It's not very far. So Janik with that Buick power might be able to get up close to him. He's alongside of Kowalski now. And Reb is trying to maintain a draft there.
It's not a huge lead. Oh, and Mick waves on the back straight nearly into David Yuns.
That closing distance can surprise you. And, well, he got by him now, but goodness, it's really scary when that happens. He's got Bruno Chacon in front of him now. We're riding on board now with Mick Chapman. 223 miles an hour at the end of the straight. And race trim with the Penske, that's fantastic. He's losing a surprising amount of speed in the turns, though. Coming up on Bruno here. Goodness, look at the closure rate with Bruno. Bruno is 14th in the March Porsche. And you can see the closure rate there. He's not even picking up a lot of speed there. Dives for the inside. Thankfully, Bruno sees him there. Looking back now to see if we can see Brian Janik. And you don't quite see him right now, so there's a good amount of distance between... Janik is now running ahead of Jason Fitch. So if you're Janik, he's still got a really good shot at possibly winning the race. Forster exits the pits. Forster's having some difficulties today, apparently. Well, he came in on that... Didn't he come in on that previous yellow at the very end?
I think he did, yes. Meanwhile, David Saber in 3rd is stuck between 2 Albertos, Ibanez and Iquino. One being lapped. While it's a battle for position with the younger one. And then we've also got Thiago Canola, who comes very close to David in turn 4. It's a very exciting battle for 3rd place.
Yeah, Canola, Fredrickson, and Saber are all running right together. Here comes Canola on the inside of David Saber. Oh man, he touches wheels with Saber.
Really close.
That was incredibly close. He kind of drifted up into him. My goodness.
And all this allows Alberto Aquino to further pull away from them.
And yeah,
Getting a tour from his dad.
Okay, here comes. Here he comes back by again, David Saber. He's probably not too happy about that, but in any case, he's got the Chevy power. Canola is a Cosworth. Now they've got the awkward presence of. Oh goodness, this is going to be straight. Oh my goodness, that was like a page out of 1989. Little Al versus Emerson Fittipaldi. But David Saber's able to keep the position. They're all closing on the two Penske's in front of them. You have Alberto Aquino in third. And Janik in
Alan
second.
Forster is spitting again.
Well, he's got some kind of a problem going on. I'm not sure what happened to Alberto. He's down in 17th place. Did he have some kind of an issue earlier in the race?
He got caught up in the big.
Of the first accidents.
Yeah.
The John Team one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his son is running with him here, so he's got a chance to help him out as far as slipstreaming and helping him save boost and fuel. And you can see just ahead, Alberto Aquino has got Bruno ahead of him, so he's got some cars between him and Janik before he can close in. What's the lap count, guys? Because they might have an inaccurate lap count. As Ibanez goes by Bruno didn't have enough time.
We are on lap 120, Jason.
120, so 80 laps to go in the race. So here comes Alberto. Should be able to get a run on Bruno now, and does. And he's still in contact with his dad, so he can maintain a good slipstream. But
We still have 7 cars on lead lap, but Mick is about to lap Richard Wilkes to bring the number down to 6.
kudos to. Okay, well here now we have. Well, that's. Sorry, I'm still a bit disoriented.
Alan Forster just got disqualified.
Why did he get disqualified? He must have sped in the pits or did something and didn't take the penalty. My goodness.
Richard Coxon's meanwhile still waiting for his repair, already 21
Oh,
laps
we have
down.
an accident! David Yudd has hit the wall.
Oh dearie me.
Exiting turn
It's-
4.
Now, whether that's going to trigger yellow, I don't know, but we got other people who are hitting parts and pieces. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he got caught up out behind Francois Remen. I think Remen head straight into the pits, seemingly with a bit of damage on the left
Here's a
rear.
replay of what happened. He ran into the side of Francois
Francois.
Remen. I think Remen was kind of checking up there, perhaps, because Janik was lapping him. And David Yunt on the inside. Let's take a look at this from inside his car. That'll give us a better clue of what happened. Yeah, here we go. So we're on the backstretch, riding with David Yunt. Janik takes the position. Oh, yes, and there's a huge amount of closure with Remen, and he just runs into the back of him, and that's it. Clocks the wall, engine failure. That's really a difficult situation because Remen was making room for a car that was lapping him and lost a lot of momentum in the process, and David just came. I don't know if you can really assign fault there. That's one of those oval racing accidents, especially at Indianapolis, where you have these 4 tight corners, and it just generates strange kind of bogging down and weird things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it certainly felt like one of those things. I don't think anyone was completely at own in that fall, so to speak.
Meanwhile, we have Saber and Canola continuing their battle. They dispense with Jason Fitch, who's 1 lap down. heading down the back straightaway now. We'll see if Canola tries an overtake here. No, he seems content to stay behind Sabre. Maybe he's gotten the message that it's probably better to run as a freight train and try to catch third, second, and first. What do you guys think?
Yes, he did.
Oh, goodness.
He did the same to me earlier.
Canola runs really wide, loses the line, and he loses lots of momentum. If you're in Sabre's cockpit, you turn up the boost and try to break the slipstream and leave him behind, but he's right back up with him again, so clearly that's not going to be... Looking backwards now from David Sabre's car. We'll see what Canola does here. No, he's going to go for the overtake. And he's got him handily. So Canola goes up to fourth, but look at how much the car swings out. He nearly lost the back end coming out of the turn 3.
And he's been running like that most of the race.
Oh, goodness! It looks like there might
have...
There was definite contact there. Sabre clocked the wall, trying to collect himself up. Canola now has a lot of breathing room, or more than he had before, between him and Sabre. Now, Sabre's going to try to... oh, my goodness. It looks as if Fredrickson might have hit the wall there, too. At some point, you have to consider that fatigue is going to become a problem in this race.
Just to let you know, Richard Coxon is back on track.
All right, well,
he's down in 20th place.
Yeah, he's got a lot of...
14 laps down.
I know exactly why he's going back out there, because he's thinking the big picture. He's got points. He's in the points lead, and every point counts.
13
Exactly.
points in the lead at the moment, and his main championship rivals are all out of the race so far.
Exactly. So, I mean, there's likely to be more attrition before the race is over. Maybe not enough so that he... maybe not. Oh, and look at this. Fitch is kind of the unwitting sandwich between this fourth and fifth battle. Sabre is going to stay behind Fitch and try to overtake at this point. Oh, man, comes very close. And all the while, Fredrickson's right behind this group. I think it's safe to say that Sabre may be struggling with that car, because he appears to be having to... Yeah, see how much the car is fishtailing on him? Now here comes Fitch, who's... This is not actually a pass for position.
Rather unlapping himself.
He's unlapping himself from Thiago, which he's perfectly entitled to do if he's faster. There's no rule that says once you've been lapped by somebody, you can't then come back if they have an issue. But Thiago probably isn't going to be happy with this. He's tailing Fitch right now. We'll see if he whips out and takes him. No, he's going to stay behind him. I guess he figures that it's probably better to just, if Fitch is faster, than to just slot behind him and keep rolling until and see what happens.
As I think Thiago's in the fuel-saving game here.
Oh, look at this! Sabre whips out and uses the fact that Thiago is cut behind Fitch, and he gets by. He leaves Canola out in the gray. Now Sabre's going to try to dispense with Fitch and put that car between himself and fifth place. And here he is dispensing with, and Canola comes right with him.
One nearly makes contact with.
These guys are third and fourth now, after Junt's departure, and we have
Janek just made his pit stop, and he is about to be passed by Richard Wilkes for sixth place.
That would explain why. There we go. Yeah, he's just overtaken by Wilkes for sixth. So I think we're seeing something develop here. The Buick, the appalling Buick fuel economy, is making it difficult for, just as I say that, Wilkes comes into the pits as well. So, from sixth place, goes
possibly
back to...
fueling to the end of the race then.
Big Chapman is also in the pits.
Counting back the strategy, so to speak, so that we have like one stop.
We're actually looking at Chapman now. Oh, goodness! Another pit. Oh, my God! No. He's beached it! He's beached it on the concrete! Oh no! This is a disaster!
Is that Wilkes?
Yeah, he's beached the
Richard
car
Wilkes.
on the concrete in the. Oh, this is disastrous. He can't get off of there. He's spinning his wheels. He's trying to get the car going, but he can't do it. And the risk here, too, his engine is now starting to smoke. You see the risk here. He's going to blow the engine doing this, trying to get off of that concrete. And he's quit the
And he's
race.
out.
Unbelievable. Oh, that's horrible.
Dear me.
That's terrible. Oh, goodness.
And all of this means that the lead is now in the hands of Alberto Aquino, still in the slipstream of his dad, Alberto Ibanez. Thiago Canola is roughly 2 turns behind, with David Saber right behind him, and Jacob Frederiksen eyeing up that second place as well.
This is a fantastic race strategy here. Little Al is letting his dad tow him along, and even though Alberto can't possibly win the race, or he's got a far less of a chance. He is helping his son. This is a great story. He's helping his son to maintain the lead, and he's helping him conserve fuel at the same time. This is fantastic.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them come into pits at the same time either.
You would, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's keep an eye on.
Partly because that would have been a Penske thing, and partly because
that signal we just saw from Alberto confirms that he's going for the pits. So we'll see if little Al follows him in.
Saber has just passed Canola for second.
They're both
Yeah,
coming
he
in.
does.
They're both coming in, and so's Ray Rodal. So oh, look out! Ooh,
Risky move by Little Al.
Little Al almost did the same problem of clipping it, and you don't want to clip that concrete at speed because it'll lift the car up in the air. Little Al comes into his pit stall.
It's a question of
and he misses it.
Me. Well, that was what I thought. Little Alberto has his pit stall in front of the senior, so there he's.
Yeah, they're right together.
He was really struggling to find his pit stall.
The captain is behind the wall. Okay, Thiago's right behind them. Alberto is away first, which doesn't really affect the standings, but out comes Aquino, so they had almost identical stops, and this means that he'll be able to keep tailing his dad. Assuming he gets out of the pits okay. Comes up through the gears.
Pits up from David Saber, Jacob Frederiksen, and that will hand the lead back to Mick Chapman, who has already pitted.
So it is a Penske clinic in a way here, and it is really unfortunate. This puts the demise of Richard Coxon in an even more unfortunate light, because it was really shaping up to become a race of who's going to do better, the Penskes with their superior chassis and engine, or the Judd would outfox them with the fuel economy. We're never going to know now, unfortunately.
Saber the wall in turn 3.
Who?
Saber.
David Saber, who was following Jacob Frederiksen for the lead.
Has he gone to the pits?
No, he hasn't. He's still going, and Jacob starts lap 136. Ooh.
Let's take a look at a replay here of what happened. Saber, he was in second at the time.
He still is in second.
And Frederiksen was first. Let's see what happened. Oh my goodness, he runs really wide, clobbers the wall, but thankfully doesn't lose any wings. He might have just gotten away with that one, but it confirms what we suspected. That car is really a handful to drive right now. He's probably running with damage. And I don't suppose I'm really surprised by this. I mean, he's driving an inferior Lola, a T87 Lola, but Frederiksen doing an excellent job as Raul Yared comes into the pits. So we're seeing routine stops here from all the leaders. We're coming up probably in not too much more time. Will be.
So I expect Jacob to pit anytime soon now.
I would think so. Yes.
I assume this is the second to last stop for those.
It probably There's going to be at least one more stop, definitely.
At least, because there are 42 laps to go. Sorry, 62. Apologies.
So let's see if Frederiksen indeed comes in now. No, he's going to stay out.
No, he keeps going.
And he started pretty far back in the pack.
But David Saber is now pitting.
Saber is pitting now. gets down to that 100 mile per hour speed in the pits. Now, the interesting bit is, let's see if he's going to, if he's smart, he turned off the damage repair. He hits the pits, hits the marks beautifully.
Jacob Signal is intends to pit this lap.
All right. Yes, he is. Jacob exits turn 4. Oh, he's probably glad he's pitting this lap because he's got a gaggle of cars in front of him. I wouldn't want to be dealing with that.
And
Yes, this will very likely hand the lead back to Mick Chapman, who pitted 7 laps ago.
All right. So
Mick, who's already entering turn 3.
So Fredrickson coming into the pits. We'll look here up the track for Mick. There he is. Emerging from turn 4, so Mick Chapman goes into the lead.
Oh, and 4th and 5th are now right nose to tail, Saber and little Alberto.
Halal. Fredrickson exits the pits.
In 3rd place, so that didn't cost him a whole lot. Yeah. Well, now we have Janik is in 2nd place. He's overtaking Coxon. But of course, I would venture to say that Janik is on a completely different fuel strategy than all the other cars. Given the Buick, he's probably way out of sequence with them. He's running his own race.
Meanwhile, there's still a gaggle going on for 4th. Alberto Aquino, David Saber, and Thiago Canola.
And once again, Alberto Aquino is he's got his dad helping him with the slipstream there. Yeah, he's 4th. David Saber 5th. Oh! Thiago clocks the wall. I'm getting an echo on I think from Jonathan, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that will be Jonathan.
Because of how it's working. Give me 2 moments here.
All right. We've got 15 people watching on YouTube again. We're really glad that you guys stuck with us. Sorry about the issues earlier, but we put up the broadcast again. I'm glad most of you could find the link. So yeah, I mean, this is an ideal situation for Al Aquino for a couple of reasons. One, he's saving fuel and engine life by following his dad. 2, he's in close company with someone that he knows. And I'll bet you they're shouting things back and forth in the house. Because they both obviously race under the same roof. And Alberto sees an opportunity for his son to win the race today. And I'm sure that they're communicating back and forth. If not through the house, then maybe on TeamSpeak. Meanwhile, the battle between Canola and Saber rages on. But I think Saber's content to stay behind Thiago, especially in light of things that have happened recently. The view from David Saber's cockpit. You see he lifted there visibly. You can hear it too. He's waiting for just the right moment to overtake Thiago. Or he's just trying to hang with him. What do you guys think? Oh my goodness, he's losing a lot of speed at the end of the straight just by following Thiago.
Yes. I was just working out the fuel strategies. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I don't know how much running in drafts and the setups affect them, so I'll have to go with my own calculations when I run the Chevy engine. A full tank was nearly 24 laps, so provided you can stretch that slightly with running a slipstream. Mixed pit stop was on lap 131. That means he needs another 2 stops. But he does have the advantage now because all the other guys also have to stop twice. There's no other way to complete the race distance. So the fact that Mick leads, even with the Albertas drafting each other, he still has the advantage.
All right, so Saber has gotten backed by Thiago again for 5th place. I guess he doesn't want to be behind Thiago for the moment. And they're closing on Fredrickson here, so this is going to become a 3-car battle very quickly. Fredrickson's in 4th place.
Great job in that car as well. Has to be said.
Yeah, considering what he's driving, it's a pretty amazing drive. Okay, yes, the freight train of Saber and Canola is definitely closing. Oh, they're right with him now. Here comes Saber. Oh my goodness!
Both of them.
Wow. If that didn't wake up Fredrickson, I don't know what will. Let's take a look at a replay of that from onboard Fredrickson. He's coming along, and he just gets overhauled by both Saber and Canola. Unbelievable. Watch this. Coming down the back straight, and the two of them just work together and just like... Watch this. This overtake is brought to you by Roy Orbison, Blue Bayou. My goodness. And they're putting a little bit of distance between themselves, and not much, but they're starting to stretch it out a tiny bit. But Fredrickson's still with them. This battle might not be done.
Obviously, Jacob, having won a previous race on fuel strategy, I wouldn't put it past him to have some trick up his sleeve here.
And another interesting development is that, meanwhile, Brian Janik is closing in on Mick Chapman.
Okay, this is interesting because...
Brian is just lapping Jason Fitch and Jan Kowalski, and Richard Coxon is still behind him, although he's obviously many laps down.
Oh, this could be dicey here. They come for the inside. 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Janik gets by. Coxon obviously is not going to make an issue for him. So now Janik has got to crank that boost up and catch Al Aquino. Now this is going to be interesting because if he does catch him, he's going to burn a lot of fuel in the process to get there.
No, he is in front of Little Al. Janik is in 2nd place.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Chapman is in the lead. So now I got the Penske drivers mixed up. So now it's a question of Janik trying to catch Chapman, and he's going to burn a lot of fuel in the process doing it. He's not around cars that he can hang with and try to
he has
gain
completely
speed.
free track in front of him.
He does, but he also doesn't have the benefit of. Well, so does Mick as well. He's got a free track in front of him.
Also,
So we'll
I don't
see.
know when Brian last pitted. I can't remember, so that one we'll have to wait until he dives into the pits for the next stop. But he's obviously on a different window.
I'm fairly
so
certain
maybe
that. I mean, the best scenario for Brian at this point would be for a yellow to come out, and then he could close up on Chapman without burning lots of fuel. But you look at Chapman; he's just cruising. That car is just
planted.
It's planted. It's beautifully. It's running fantastic. I mean, and Chapman, correct me if I'm wrong, has not had very good luck in this series so far.
No, absolutely not.
So this
He
would
really
be a
deserves some
fantastic
luck.
boost for him. He's coming up now on Filippo Marazzi, who's also in a Judd. You can see the speed differential there. He's even he got up to 227 there in the toe. Marazzi kind of runs wide there. Oh, this is kind of awkward for Chapman because he kind of gets balked there. But now he's going to easily get by just on Chevy power down the straight. Coxon heading for the pits again. That probably is a routine stop. At this point, he's just trying to finish. Janik is now free and clear of Ibanez and That's interesting. Fredrickson. Yeah, the battle between Fredrickson and Sabre is still going on. And it must be really difficult for these two because they're very evenly matched and they know that it's probably not a good idea to dice too much because they'll just lose time. And there's no yellows going on, so I don't know.
Brian Janik is going to pit.
All right.
We're now on lap 153.
So it means 30.
Oh, sorry, 152. My apologies.
All right, so we got 48 laps to go.
So
That
one
means
more
that-
stop with a bit of fuel saving for him.
Well, he's gonna. It means he's gonna have to stop twice because knowing him, the best you can do on a Buick is probably 23 laps of green. So he's gonna have to stop 2 more times. Janik coming for the pits.
Indeed. Lap 152, as I said.
He slows down. So we can bank on him making 2 more stops. This one now, and then 1 more stop afterwards. That's the only way, but that's going to put him right on the money.
Yes,
He
definitely.
He would probably love to have some kind of yellow occurred so he can save some fuel, but he's going to be right on the button.
If that happens, he is indeed on the money because that's exactly 2 full tanks of fuel left in this race. So this might be a very good strategy. Also exits third now.
Oh, he's letting the thing bog in second gear. Coming up through the gears, we've mentioned before, but in the Buick is really frustrating.
Well, it is a speed car engine to begin with, so
we're kind of watching what plays out with the Buick in history anyway. It's a great qualifier, but in the race, it has deficiencies. You can turn up the boost and lead like I did because I wanted to be on TV. But I knew in the back of my mind, I'm just like, this strategy probably will see me finish 4th or 5th or something just based
And
on
I
fuel
think
economy.
we should see another run of pit stops going very soon because Mick's last pit stop, he's now going lap 155, was 24 laps ago. So he can't have much more left in that fuel tank.
He just
actually
put a
just
lap
flew
on...
past Jacob Ferguson on
Yeah,
the
he
start
just put a
finish.
lap on him, so... See if Mick goes for the pits this time.
Mick has asked for a pit stop, so he will be pitting very soon.
Right.
Which means he won't have to fight his way past Canola and
And
make
here
it
he
down to the
comes.
pits he needs. And just like with Brian Janik, this means Mick still has to make 1 more fuel stop to complete the race distance.
All right, revs the engine here. Let's see if he gets away in good time. Beautiful exit. Lights up
Very
those
well
tires.
executed.
Yeah, very well executed.
And
Chapman
still in the lead.
exits. He's still in the
Oh,
lead.
no,
now he's
no.
down to second.
Little Al just passed him.
Little Al goes past him into the lead. Al Aquino has inherited the lead once again. He's with his dad. I gotta say, this is kind of delightful watching these two work together like this. So the question now is, when is Little Al going to stop? Oh, we have a request on YouTube. Did any of you guys, did you give the trivia question an answer?
I've given the question, I haven't given the answer yet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to find a way of loading that image. Hang on a second.
We'll
So we
sort
can-
it out. In the meantime, we'll continue with sort
You
of a
go ahead and
radio
talk.
broadcast here.
No, we can look at it while I'm loading the images. It's fine. I don't have to kill the image. You guys talk for a bit. I got to do this.
Okay. Well, we still have in 3rd and 4th Sabre and Canola. Canola still
Taylor
sitting
Ken.
right behind him here.
And they're really closing in on Mick Chapman. Difference is that Mick has already made his pit stop, so once these two guys stop, Mick will have a huge lead again.
When the cold tires and full fuel is definitely slowing down Mick right here.
Yes, indeed.
He's wide,
Yeah, he's having
wide
issues.
and loose.
They're both passing Mick. Oh, Canola, fuel saving again, prefers to stay behind Mick.
And Chapman's doing the absolute right thing here. He doesn't get bogged down in battling these guys because he knows that they're going to have to go to the pits eventually.
But he's having to work the car. That was
Mick's playing it very well this day.
He's not getting caught up in any kind of
Tapping Gerard.
my goodness. Gerard
is 22 laps down now.
Gerard has been having difficulty driving that car. I don't know if it comes down to it. It's not the easiest car to drive, but I think it's also a question of he didn't have as much time to prepare as others did.
No, Gerard only made the grid because other people were unable to start the race.
That's true.
Oh, and I believe Chapman just nudged the wall coming out of 2.
Got to be
Got
careful about
caught out
that.
in the dirty air behind that March Porsche.
Big Al is pitting, but not Little Al.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting development. You'd think they both run together, but obviously, with Little Al being in the draft of his father will have used more fuel. And he grazes the wall.
Yeah, but we've seen a bunch of people do that, and I don't think it's really a problem, especially when you're moving at such low speed.
Little Al is now on lap 160. Which means he'll be going for 27 laps, and he goes for fuel now.
All right.
Lap 160.
Here he comes in. And here comes
Laps to go.
Mick taking the position again, so he goes up to first again. Saber's right with him. Saber is ducking inside. He sees an opportunity to lead, at least for a little bit. Doesn't work. I gotta say, Saber's doing an excellent job in this car, considering what he's been through so far. Exits the turn.
And it was a very long stop for Little Al, 18 seconds.
He may have forgotten to tell his crew
Which
to
damage,
get ready.
Yeah, because
You gotta tell your.
Yeah, you're right, Jason. He didn't ask long enough beforehand, so that cost him 4 seconds.
That 4 seconds could come back to bite him later. We'll see. So this is now the battle for the lead that we're looking at. It's between Chapman and David Saber.
Also,
Saber.
Thiago just pitted.
Fredrickson's back into third now. Janik is fourth. Little Al's down to fifth. So he didn't lose a lot of time there. Oh man, he's really struggling with that car as he exited the pits. He almost lost it. These cars, you got to be very careful with them on cold tires. We saw that too in qualifying. People with cold tires, just their first lap, they just didn't have the ability to. All right, here's Saber tucked up behind Mick. He wants to be on TV. He's going for. Oh no, he thinks.
No, he prefers wisely to stay behind Mick.
You think he's playing a bit of a psychological play here?
I think he does. Yeah, just putting Mick under pressure.
Certainly possible. He needs to do something to unnerve and put Chapman off.
The other thing to remember is that Saber is driving Mario Andretti's car. Hopefully the Andretti luck is not attached itself to Saber. You would think, you could say to yourself it has not, because he's survived a great deal of things. He's clocked the wall a few times. He's had incidents throughout the race. So the fact that he's running second right now is a tribute to his racecraft and to how good the car is, even in that situation where he's probably struggling.
We should see a pit stop from David very soon, because he pitted last time round. He pitted 6 laps after Mick. Mick pitted on lap 155. We're now on 164 already. So David's definitely going to have to come in for fuel soon.
Looks like that was a move from Saber to tell he's pitting this time round.
Yes. We'll ride with Saber to see if he decides to come in. And indeed he is. So Saber comes in.
Okay, that should mean, looking at my pit schedule, Jacob Frederickson should be pitting on this lap or the next one.
All right, David Saber comes in.
Raul Yareb is in the pits as well. From, I believe he was running 6th or 7th.
Raul was in 7th.
Get away from the pit stall from David Saber. There are no wheel spin, no histrionics, no problems whatsoever from Joseph.
Sorry. Okay, so here comes Saber out again.
Nola quite a bit behind actually.
No, he's
he
fifth.
should catch up.
Lal puts a lap on Yareb.
Jacob looks like he's soon to be heading for the pits. As
Yes, he is pitting.
Ducks down now. So I wonder, what lap are we on?
Mick is on lap 167.
Oh, guess who Saber is right back with again? Canola. He must be getting really tired of looking at that Dick Simon car. But here comes Chapman.
Wow.
Overhauls those two. He stays in the lead.
Mick has pulled a masterstroke this race. He was so quiet and so consistent early on in the race, but look at him now. He's flying.
Fredrickson coming out of the pits now, dropping down to
That was
fourth.
a 15-second stop, so he asked it well beforehand.
Chapman just, I mean, I ran with him in practice yesterday, and the car was just beautiful. He could overtake me at will. It was quite amazing. So whatever, and he did seem quite confident on TeamSpeak the other day. So whatever Chapman's got worked out in this car.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
typical
Bucko.
Mick. He spends a lot of time on his setups to make sure the car behaves as it should. This is obviously the result of that. A perfect drive up to now.
Alakino in third place. And he doesn't have his dad around him now, so...
Oh, and he's nearly a lap behind Mick Chapman already. As Mick comes up to lap Adam Hackman, who has to back off.
But Hackman gives him the room. He gets through. Now he's coming up on Jason Whitehead. The question's going to be, can Janik close in this? You can see how far back he is. He's almost a full straightaway behind Mick. It's going to come down to who can navigate the traffic better here. Mick exits turn 4. He sees Jason Whitehead ahead of him. And you can see there, it's basically a full straightaway difference. Whitehead gets out of the way. That was a little bit dangerous what he did there.
I think there's 5 seconds between Brian and Mick.
Okay, well if you can keep
It's not
an
really
eye
full
on that.
straightaway. It's quite close, really.
All right. Well, while we have a moment, we can do the trivia question if you guys want.
Certainly.
All right. Oh, of course. The thing is too small. Because I did it for Jonatan. Okay, so look in the upper left corner of your screen. Who is credited with starting the tradition of the Indy 500 winner drinking milk? Is it A. Louis Meyer, B. Wilbur Shaw, or C. Maury Rose? Anybody?
I really can't say anything because I said earlier I got it wrong when I read the answer. So
Juha, do you want to take a guess?
No, I'll leave you to it.
The answer is A. Louis Meyer. All right, back to the race.
Then Angel was right when she guessed A earlier.
All right.
She was saying that they would be very disappointed in her if she didn't get it right. She's been chanting that to her for quite a while.
Louis Meyer? Why?
Yeah, that he started a tradition.
Yep, Angel got it right. A. Congratulations.
Please someone in the household won something today.
What's the gap between Chetman and Janik?
That's still 4.5 seconds.
What? Say it one more time.
4.5 seconds, Jason.
So it is dropping, but not by a considerable amount.
No, it's really small. It's stabilizing like 4.3, 4.5 seconds.
Meanwhile,
Although Janik is now lapping Canola.
Yeah, he's in a difficult situation here. He's going to have to overtake two cars. They're obviously quicker, but look at him with the grunt of that Buick. He just blows by. Well, he's going to try to get by Sabre as well. Finally gets by them, so they're a lap down to Janik, and they're lap down to Mick overall. So now Janik is free and clear of those two. Let's look from on board his car. He's got one car down the straightaway in front of him. Not sure who that is.
This overtake allowed by Janik to close the gap slightly. It's now hovering around 4 seconds. As Mick puts another lap on Rule Jareb. Rule is now 2 laps down.
Sabre's able to hang with
Janik.
Janik, you can see him in his mirrors.
This also means we always still have only 3 cars left on lead lap, which are Janik, Anikinho, and obviously the Mick Chapman. And we have 25 laps to go.
Alright, so very quickly it's going to be show and tell time here. The last pit stop will determine to a large extent what the outcome is going to be.
Yes, and will Brian Janik be able to turn up the boost and close the gap on Mick, knowing he doesn't have to cover as many laps after his last stop?
Well, he's probably, given how close it is, like based on what we were talking about and how much... What's going on here? Janik just lifted off. Looks like he's having difficulty in that car. I think he might have been shifting down to 4th.
Actually, no, he's now in 5th. He's
now in 5th.
I think he's missed his fuel window. And just realized he doesn't have enough fuel to make it round another lap.
Oh no, if that's true...
He's now cruising in 5th, which means I think he's playing a really close game to be sure he doesn't have to pick twice.
I'm surprised that Canola and Sabre didn't overhaul him when he lifted like that. But here, oh my goodness, we have a car in the pit lane on its side. I don't know who that is. My goodness. It's Gerard Rion sliding down the pit lane upside down going backwards.
Oh
my
no.
Goodness. And now he's right side up. Now he's right side up but facing the wrong way, and the car is actually intact. Okay, this is a potentially dangerous situation.
Whoa.
Gerard, he's going the wrong... Oh, is he going into the garage?
He's disqualified.
He's disqualified for driving the wrong way, and we have a yellow. So the yellow was triggered. The yellow was triggered by Gerard's incident.
Well,
And
Brian
Brian has a
Janik has a
drive-through.
drive-through.
Brian Janik is a drive-through. Why?
Presumably for speeding.
for speeding in the pits, Jason. Also,
speed-
that was a slow stop because it took him 19 seconds.
Oh
So
my
Brian
goodness,
Janik has probably lost his chance of victory.
he has, most likely, because he's going to have to, well, he's going to have to use the grunt of the Buick to get back all that time he lost. God, well, I don't know if Gerard is happy. If I were Gerard, I might be thrilled that the that I don't have to fight that car anymore. So Chapman in first here, and he's catching up to the field. He's going to be low down in the serial. Yeah, they're now slowing down. Chapman is going to go for the pits, too. He sees this as an opportunity to get on a good strategy. And Little Al is coming in as well. From...
Mick gets a penalty.
Mick gets a penalty? What in the world for?
Idea, but it's a 10-second stop hole. David
So
Sabers a
Davidson.
drive-through as well.
Oh goodness, something weird happened here, and it might have been triggered by the accident that Gerard Rion had.
So I must say, I just checked Brian Janik's pit stop, and there was definitely no speeding in the pit lane, and neither is on Mick's behalf.
So the question becomes, are these guys going to be... Yeah, there's a stop-go there's a stop-go thing on his car. There's a drive-through on Janik's car. Alberto Aquino doesn't seem to have any issue at all. I'm looking back through here to see David Saber also has a drive-through penalty that he has to serve. What do you guys think happened there?
While I checked the pit stops, I could see nothing wrong. This may be the odd thing caused by Gerard Rion pitting upside down.
It could have been something to that degree, but it's one of those things that you just simply can't prepare for. As everybody heads for the pits, my goodness, it's just Grand Central
There's
Station.
certainly something going on. Raul Yareb just got a 10-second stop and go as well.
All right. Well, unfortunate to see that happen. We'll have to let the stewards figure out what happens here. People emerging from the pits now, and these are all people who are a lap down.
I'm not aware if you have watched the Rion accident actually, or what sets it off.
What happened?
He seemed to clip the wheel with Jason Fitch exiting turn 4, which basically made him a somersault backwards, and he just rolled, in reverse, upside down, into pit lane.
All right,
For
so
a very, very long way.
we'll see if... Okay, the pace car's coming in now. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, because we got a bunch of people who are going to have to do something about it. Janik comes in.
And Bruno Chacon gets a penalty now.
That could have been for overtaking before the green, but in any case, Mick Chapman is the leader coming into turn 1, and goodness, people are checking up like crazy. Oh man, almost an accident. Fredrickson.
Despite the fact Mick has the drive-through, the only guy in the same lap is Little Al, and he's right in front of them, so he can still
Well, it's
get
not
out
a
of the pit lane
drive-through; it's a
first.
stop and go. He's going to have to stop and then go. So it's true.
Then he will lose time.
So we'll see
Obviously,
what
the
happens
stewards
here.
might rectify this after the race, because this is obviously not the penalty. We cannot immediately see a reason why you should get that penalty.
Mick comes
And he
into
goes
the
to serve
pits.
it now.
Yes, Mick is serving the penalty now. It could have been a situation where the accident occurred and he had overtaken somebody under... No, that wouldn't make sense because we don't have that enabled on the server.
Jason White, Francois Remen. Jacob Frederiksen, David Saber, all pitting for
1,
stop and goes.
2,
Apparently.
3, 4,
And Thiago Canola will do
5,
it next.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There we go.
Brian Janik's making very old move. Oh!
Chapman's still in the lead as he exits the pits. So let's see, where's little Al at? He's coming down the front straightaway now. So
Brian Janik and Thiago Canola now going both for that drive through the stop and goes.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was called.
Sorry to interrupt, Jason. Little Al also just got a drive through, or sorry, stop and go.
Well, the irony here is that it may end up just evening itself out if all of the leaders have the exact same penalty.
Indeed.
Then really we may not. Maybe that'll make it kind of easy for the admins after the fact. We'll see. Chapman is. How many laps to go now?
Mick Chapman has just started lap 183.
183. So we're getting down to it now as Fitch exits the pits. Al Aquino is in second, and he's about a short shoot behind. So the race is on now. It's going to be between these two Penske drivers for the win, basically. So don't turn off your TV set. This could yet be a barn burner of a finish. Aquino has to get around these two cars
So
in
I have to
front of
break
him.
the excitement slightly, Jason, because Alberto also has a stop and go.
Oh,
If he's
Al,
wisely serve it now, and
he's
that
coming
looks
in
like he's
now.
doing it.
Yeah, he is.
He's coming in now, behind Jan Kowalski.
All right. Well, that basically puts Mick in a position where he's almost unassailable, and I think that puts his drive in even a greater light. He had to make that stop. He had to take that penalty, and he still was in the lead when he got out. So I'll leave it up to the stewards, but I would think that given, who it was basically all the front runners that had to do that stop, right?
I think everybody got a penalty, the whole field.
The whole field. So really it kind of evens itself out. Everybody had to do it.
Mixed out now starts lap 185.
And the other thing, too, is some people had simple drive-throughs, it appeared. Mick actually had, and there you see little Al exiting the pits. He's now a lap down. Mick actually had a 10-second stop, so his stop in his case may have been more detrimental than others, and yet he's still in the lead. So
I just take the scoring sheet. Mick is actually 2 laps ahead of Little Al now.
oh my goodness.
Not 1.
So Mick is a full 5 miles ahead of second place with that stop that he had to make as a penalty. That's pretty outrageous.
This does slightly rob us of an interesting finish because
It does, but
unless something goes badly wrong, Mick is doing what Danny Sullivan failed to do in 1988, which is bring that dominating car first over the line.
I don't think we should take anything away from Al Aquino, though. He's
done very well.
He's driven a brilliant race today. He's only 14 years of age, and I think this says a great deal about his talent and his ability. And he's obviously learned a lot from his dad. Rally Areb is in 3rd place now.
Yes, actually, Little Al and Rule are in a battle for position for second.
They are. So.
As Rule grazes the wall, commentator's curse again.
Yeah.
And David Saber and Thiago Canola, business as usual, are still battling it out, this time for 4th place.
My goodness. Well, you can bet that they're going to just start swapping positions with a few laps to go because they've been stuck at the hip the entire race. They're probably eager to duke it out eventually, but they know that it's not smart to do that just yet. Canola keeps looking there. He's aching to make that pass, but he knows that Saber will just
Brian
do him again.
Janik isn't far away either.
Yeah, Brian is not completely out of the picture. I mean, he's not going to. I think it's basically if you're any of these guys, you're hoping that there's going to be a yellow to close the field up. But these guys are...
Especially Brian with his fuel consumption.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, I mean, these guys are all on a lap of their own. They're all a couple laps down. So even with Mick, even with a yellow, it's not going to help them any because they won't get their laps back.
It will only close out the battle for third and play into the hands of Brian Janik.
Yeah, it won't have an outcome on the potential win. But here comes Mick now. He's closing in on Yareb and Alakino. Does this mean that he's going to be 3 laps ahead of second place?
Definitely looks like it.
This is insane. What's the lap count right now?
Mick is on lap 189 and Little Al on lap 187.
So when Mick comes around now to the gantry, he will get from Dwayne Sweeney. He'll get 2 open hands, fingers spread, 10 laps to go.
Oh, and here comes Raul for second.
Raul is going for second now. He's trying to, but Al, he just didn't have the momentum to get by Alakino.
Mick Chapman is looking to lap them for the second time, not the third, as I wanted to say before.
Out, overtakes Raul, and Raul lets him go.
Raul is now officially 2 laps down.
So this would be his next victim. This would officially put Little Al 2 laps down.
Exactly.
And there goes Mick.
With 10 laps to go.
So now we actually
25 miles left between him and victory. Oh, and Little Al runs wide.
And I noticed Raul has actually been scraping the wall, so he has no tire maker paint at all left on his
Here comes
right
Little
side.
Al. He wants to stay on that 1 lap down. He doesn't want to go 2 laps down. He goes back by his teammate. I don't know if
clearly what Mick doesn't want.
I don't think Mick will be too thrilled with that, because the chances of him. Here comes Mick back by again. This is if Roger Penske's on the wall, he's probably really nervously pacing right now because he doesn't give team orders, but I'm sure he doesn't like to see what he's seeing. And of course Raul is back there going, okay, fine. If you guys want to hammer it out, go for it. Maybe you'll have an incident.
If anything happens to both Penske's, Raul will inherit the lead.
Yeah, I know. So Raul is like thinking, okay, and here he comes by again. Little Al is taking the lead, is going back in front of the cereal.
Sorry.
Well, he's back in front of the cereal. Mick has got to be getting really frustrated now, but at the same time, he can't lose his cool. If I were Mick, this is just me, and Mick is going for the pass again. What are these two doing? This is not smart.
Well, you have to think in Mick's case, he'll be stuck between 2 cars. That might completely upset his aero balance. I'd rather have 1 car behind me than being in a sandwich for 2 people battling for position.
But apparently a memo from the Penske team didn't make it to Alakino's desk because there he goes again. He's going by.
Yes, but look at the huge gap they're pulling on Raul now.
It's true, but
I think Raul is meddling with something inside his car.
In any case,
Raul asked for a pit stop. Raul is
Oh my goodness!
Whoa.
Mick clocked the wall. See, this is the thing. If this would be an incredible situation if an intramural Penske battle causes the demise of either of these cars. Someone's going to get a pink slip.
Ooh, a very bad corner from Raul there in turn 2. Running really wide. Maybe he has upset the suspension of his car.
He might have, because he did dance with the wall a bit. This is a highly unusual situation. Chapman and Aquino trading spots like this continuously. I mean, even if Al is able to get by and stay there.
Yeah, and Raul dives for the pits.
Okay, Raul is taking a pit stop now.
Now, if the Penske guys are smart enough, they'll just back off both of them, because they have nothing to win and everything to lose now if they tangle with each other.
I would think at some point that, although here comes Little Al again, this is incredible, because even if Little Al is able to, well, that time he just pulled out of the slipstream too early. But
Rule's pit stop seems to be splash on the actual fuel because he only went in for 5 seconds.
All right, well,
And he's still in third, exiting turn. He's in turn 2 now, and David Saber crosses the line. So despite the stop, Rule might hold on to third position.
Whoa! So he had a bit of a moment getting
Al
onto
goes
apron.
through again. So how many laps to go, guys? What lap is Mick on?
Mick is on lap 196.
196. So he's got 196, 197, 198, 199, and 200.
Something I've been looking at is that, the previous races this season, no matter which of these 3 actually takes the win here, it'll be a very spectacular win for them, and a somewhat unexpected win, I'd say.
And Mick is backed off really here because he figures, okay, fine, you want to go ahead, take it. It's not going to make a difference.
When it hits the wall again, I think he's made an intelligent decision of just letting Little Al go.
Yeah, there's no point really in battling with him, so he's going to let him go. But so
most interesting battle on track is now for fourth between again Sabre and Canola.
oh goodness, these two. We're going to have to watch it very closely once the race concludes, because these two are going to be... it's nuts.
Looks like
Canola strikes the wall.
Looks like everyone is using all
and
available road and a bit
Mick is
more,
right
because
back with Al Aquino again. Goes for the inside. He's going to overtake him again.
Unbelievable.
This is...
really close. Oh.
See, this is what should not be going on.
Mick obviously showing who's boss in the Penske team today.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you're right, Jason. That's not sort of stuff you want to see as a team boss.
No. Indeed, there's probably going to be... I mean, goodness, Little Al's had an excellent race, but it's a situation of, man, you got to be careful.
And meanwhile, the battle for fourth has to be a freeway because Brian Janik is using Buick power to close up at Thiago Canola, and he passes Thiago and David Sabre in one go.
He's going to get it done. Fantastic. In the 4th place. Unbelievable.
A great move of Brian Janik, showing off all the Buick power. But
yeah,
what can
fantastic.
David Sabre do on the backstretch?
Sabre's going to go, but Canola's with him too. Oh my goodness. Sabre ducks and dives, tries to get alongside Janik. Chevrolet versus Buick power.
Whoa.
Canola 3 wide. Going on.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I want to get anything away from it. Mick is now entering his last lap.
He's now in lap 200.
Last lap. He's now on lap 199.
Okay, so that means that he's got one more to go, right? Sabre overtakes, goes back in front of Brian Janik. So is Chapman on his final lap, or does he have one more to go?
Mick appears to be on his final lap, yes.
Mick is now in his final lap. An incredible...
Oh, sorry. Has he... No, sorry. Mick has finished the race. My apologies. Mick has won the Indianapolis 500.
My goodness.
Sorry, my scoring sheet had a slight delay in it.
It looks like Sabre has lost out on the final lap. He dropped from 4th to 6th in
Here they come to the line.
Brian Janik
not finished yet. They're not finished, but Brian Janik. And will David Sabre take Thiago on the line? No, he won't.
No.
Janik 4th, Canola 5th, and David Sabre 6th.
But also an incredible 2nd place for Alberto Equino, and a wonderful 3rd place for Raul Yareb.
And Mick Chapman is coming down looking for
victory lane.
He's heading for victory circle. He's looking for it. It's on the left there. Mick, turn in. Oh, what the? Oh, what the?
And he gets taken out by...
That was Fitch. Oh, come on. This is Mick's moment. Why do that? And Mick can't get into victory circle now. Well, that's rather
disappointing.
That is disappointing. Let's take a look at a replay of that. Chat. Fitch
Alberto Quino heads there at least.
Fitch comes in just on a with no regard for what's in front of him. I know the race is over, but good grief, really? Come on. Mick had Shirley Muldowney and Jungle Pam Hardy waiting for him in there, and now he can't get in there and join them. You know what we should do? We should restart the session, and then he can drive his car into victory lane.
I would agree for that.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Let's do that as soon as. All right, let's see if we can get Mick on the on TeamSpeak.
See if
I'll pull him in here.
User was moved to your channel.
Mick, congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Listen, stay where you are. We're gonna load the server again. I want you to drive. You can drive the car into Victory Circle.
It's not official yet. I think there's a problem with my teammates serving a unwarranted penalty.
Well, you served it as well.
No, yeah, if you say so.
Well, basically, the entire front of the field did.
Right.
So,
I think
from what we can
everyone
tell,
from first to eighth or something got either a drive-through or a stop-go. So.
Right. I got my drive-through under yellows, and I thought it was because I made a late decision to stop, and I was the wrong side of the pit entry yellow line.
I don't think the game even has that kind of capability to do that. What do you guys think?
I think it was just bad luck. I checked your entry and there was nothing wrong with it. No speeding in the pit lane. No,
Well,
no fault on your side.
2-lap lead anyway, so I think even if you were to slam another penalty on me, I think I might still have it. But
so are you going to go for Victory Circle or not?
Yep, sorry. Yep, sorry. Then remembering to breathe for a second.
Well, congratulations, Mick, and a very well-deserved victory. I was mentioning to the guys on the broadcast that you did a great. You were looking incredible in practice.
Well, before you go any further, I have to thank my team captain for the advice and the setup. The car was an absolute dream to drive. I could do anything I wanted with it. Well.
You drove it very well, Mick. You still have to drive it.
User joined your channel.
Oh, and we're joined by second place finisher Alberto Aquino. Alberto, fantastic drive today.
User joined your channel.
What was going on there with Mick towards the end?
User left your channel.
Well, apparently he doesn't want to talk about that.
There's nothing going on except he was a bit confused because of his penalty. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting race, not just race to the finish, but also the funny thing is that it will be decided in the offices, as it was between Mario and Bobby. Yeah,
well, what we can say from the broadcast booth is that it seems the top 8 or top 10 all had some kind of penalty.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, we're going to give Mick the benefit of pulling into Victory Circle. And here he is pulling in, and you can see the Borg Warner trophy there. He's got Shirley Muldowney, Jungle Pam Hardy, and I believe if you back up a little bit, Mick, and go to the right, he also has Linda Vaughn in there greeting him. Yep.
So either way, when we were racing, Mick was talking. We were the three on the same channel on radio, and Mick, I'm going to use this broadcast to praise him because he was absolutely sporting. I mean, he just asked us, so what do I do? Do I give him the possession back, or what do you want me to do? That was his words. And well, I told him what you do. You win the race. We'll talk about this all later. But man, I mean, that's a gentleman for you all.
Certainly.
Well, fantastic drive, Mick, and you're gonna. We're gonna wait and see what the stewards decide on everything. But you'll have to, if it turns out that it's a clean win, you're gonna have to give me your address in Wales to send you the trophy, which is already packed and ready to go.
Really, I forgot about that. Blimey.
Yep.
Speechless. Thanks very
Well,
much.
so
In the case, it will be well deserved, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just drove, just drove flat out. Minor adjustments on the bars. Team effort. Thanks, Hal.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was certainly a master stroke by you guys.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a pesky 1, 2, 3, but bad luck hit for me.
Well,
I caught that on the broadcast. That looked very unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, trying to avoid the accident. I went also through some situations that were really weird. I mean, once I was coming out of the pits, I had Jacob in front of me. We were about to get green, and Jacob was driving quite slowly. I was getting the message that he was in front of me, so I could not pass, and I was whipping all around, telling him, "Come on, man, hurry! We're getting green." But I guess he was somehow on well, whatever. I mean, he was obviously on a different or strategy or whatever, and maybe he had a lost lap. I don't know. Okay, but it was really nerve-wracking for me. Anyways.
Well, another HSO Indy 500 goes into the books. And this time it appears it's going to be Welshman Mick Chapman. So thanks to Jonathan for the first part of the broadcast, and I'm I don't like the fact that I DNF'd, but I am glad that I was able to bring the rest of the race to everybody to watch. Thanks to our admin team for putting this race on. It's very difficult to do. And next stop for the IndyCar series, I suppose, is going to be Toronto.
We have another race in June, I believe, before Toronto.
I think is it Portland or?
No, we already did Portland.
My apologies, other one.
Oh, the website is under maintenance, so I can check that now. But yeah, Toronto is in July, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, the airfield track.
Cleveland.
Air track, Cleveland.
Right.
I was in Oakland.
All right. Well, unless anybody has any closing thoughts, I guess we can close out the broadcast. It's been a long day for everybody, but thanks very much, Juha and Jonathan and Alberto. This is Jason White saying so long from Indianapolis, where Mick Chapman appears to have won the HSO Indianapolis 500. Congrats to Mick, and congrats to everybody who made it to the finish. We'll see you guys on a future broadcast. So long.
But my